Okay, whenever you're ready.
All right, so growing up, my cousin, he was a guitarist. He would always have his guitar with him every time we saw him at a family gathering. He always had his guitar. Every time we went over to their house, he always had his guitar. He was always playing it, and he enjoyed it so much. So from a young age, I always got this interest that grew for the guitar. And as it developed, as I got older and started high school, I got interested in bands like Nirvana, Guns N' Roses, and Led Zeppelin. And all of these bands, as you guys probably know, had strong guitarists, and the way their songs sounded, they sounded so amazing to me, and that grew my interest even more for the guitar. So when Miss Dustin, in the beginning of the year for Senior Sem, she talked to us and she said, when you're choosing a project, you should try to choose something that you've never done before, something that you've always wanted to do. So I took this opportunity to jump and learn the guitar for the first time. I wanted to play the guitar because I've always had this will in me from a young age, and so when I got the opportunity, I was very excited. I wanted to learn it very quickly. That's another thing I wanted to do, and I wanted to be a good player by the end of the semester. And in order to do that, I wanted to be able to learn efficiently, and I didn't want to go get lessons because that's something I didn't have the money to pay for. So for my senior project, my name is Naik. For my senior project, I tested out the benefits of online learning versus learning something in person. Learning used to be very one-dimensional. It was just the student, or there was an instructor, and they would teach this teacher. They would teach the student. You just sit and listen, and it would be the same thing. That's what we've been doing for a while. But thanks to the advancements in technology, we've been able to have so many more possibilities and new ways to learn and have new opportunities to discover new things on the internet and the web. I wanted to try something new and different than what I had been used to learning in the classrooms every day at school. So I wanted to try learning something online. I was hoping to advance quicker, and I wanted to use a new method that was more exciting to me and something that wouldn't slow me down as much as I thought I would be slowed down with in-person one-on-one instructions. So I used my project to determine which method of learning would be more effective because I was doing online learning, and I already had previous knowledge with learning one-on-one with the instructor and piano. So I was going to compare the two and use that for my research. Again, because of these feats we've made in technology and the internet, it has become so much easier to go online and find and learn how to do new things with ease. I wanted to see again for myself how effective online learning really was. So for this, I wanted to answer a few questions is online learning a tool that we've not been utilizing as much as we should? Or is in-person learning still the better option? These questions led me to pursue learning guitar using strictly online resources. Thank you. Thank you. So right when I started learning something online, learning with the guitar, right away the benefits of online learning were clear to me. For starters, it was so convenient. All I had to do was grab the guitar and go and sit down at my computer whenever I had the chance to. And all the information was right there in front of me. I didn't have to go out of my way to go to meet somebody to get lessons. I didn't have to leave my house. I could do it all from the comfort of my own home. Next, there was also a wide variety of information and instructors to learn from. There's so many different techniques and different play styles, and I could have learned from many different people over the internet on YouTube and all these different sites. I wasn't chained down to just one person who was just teaching me their techniques. And if I didn't like something, I could go somewhere else to learn something anew. And that was something I really appreciated as well. I also wanted to do some research to back up what my own personal experience is from online learning. And what I learned is that the US Department of Education did a study to determine what was the better way to learn, online resources or in-person material. This was a very popular study because all these businesses, people, and all these educators were all interested to see how this study would determine which was the better source of learning. Because businesses, they were interested in investing in either online or in-person resources so they could see how they could train their employees better. So this was a very important study, and the U.S. Department of Education spent $600 million on this study. And they concluded this study from 1996 to 2008 using meta-analysis. They did 99 studies in between that time period to determine and make sure that what they were studying was actually factually correct. And when they compared online learning to just specifically in-person learning, they found that online learning did have more benefits, and because it was, just frankly, it was more broad and had so much information, it was more relevant to just people, young and old, male and female, people who had advantages and disadvantages. It was just so broad, and the variety of people that were able to use it was very big. So when I looked at this study, it helped benefit me. I was thinking, wow, this is so great. I should just go right with online resources. I'm learning so much. There's so much information on here. Like, I'm very impressed by everything. I was so happy with all the information I was getting. But then at the same time, I also realized, you know what, there's so much information on here, I'm getting super overwhelmed. I need some direction, I need some guidance. This is when I unfortunately hit a few roadblocks in my learning. Because I didn't know, there was so much information, I didn't know where I should be going to, or what to learn first. Luckily, this is when I was able to talk to my mentor, Miss Jakes. I was able to go to her and get some guidance on what to learn first. And this was something you cannot get online. I mean, you could, but it's very hard to find that personal connection that you can get with in-person learning. I was able to go to Miss Jakes, and she set me down a path of what to learn, and right as a beginner with no previous knowledge in the area. Basically, I got this plan from Miss Jakes, and I used it to go and learn, and I was progressing as usual, and everything was going well. But then a friend of mine who had taken guitar before, she explained to me that I should try to learn things that I want to do in this short span that I'm learning the guitar, like riffs and different play styles, and to just chords all the time. So that's when I got the idea to try a finger-picking guitar style, which is the guitar style used by Spanish guitarists, because this is something that interested me. And again, like Miss Dustin said, do something you want to do. Unfortunately, again, I had trouble learning how to read the notes on how to play this guitar style. This was another moment where I looked online, I couldn't find anything that would explain this form of guitar to me specifically as a beginner. This was another moment I was able to go to Miss Jakes and I was able to talk to her. She helped me out, she helped me figure out how to play. She was able to see what I was doing wrong. She was able to show me how to play the guitar, this style correctly. She gave me notes, and she gave me practice sheets that I could go and use later, and that's what I used to progress. After this experience, I started to think more about how that in-person, one-on-one connection is more important than I thought when I first came in to this project. And I was so happy to have a mentor because I was able to get that personal connection that you can't get online because everything's usually impersonal. You can't really connect with them as well. I got immediate feedback from her because she was right there, always ready to help. And also, she was just able to answer things that I wouldn't have been able to find online. And being able to have a skilled guitarist right here was very beneficial to my project. So yeah, again, in-person connections were more altered to me compared to online, which is more impersonal. And that was another benefit of what I found from in-person other than online. And so I did some more research again on in-person learning because I wanted to compare it again and have factual evidence to back up just my experiences again. And I got a lot of the same stuff. There's many benefits you can attain from in-person learning that's just some stuff you cannot find when you're trying to learn something online. And traditional learning and online learning both have their own benefits, but it's really up to the learner to see what you need specifically. They're both very different things. As the semester came to a close, I looked back at my project and I was thinking to myself, I'm at the end of my project now. What did I think was more effective for me personally out of these two techniques I was using to learn the guitar? And as I thought back to it, as the best learning method, the most effective for me, was both of them are great. I use online resources and I use my mentor, Miss Jakes, and they both benefited me personally very well. But once the two were combined, when I used online resources and I went into Miss Jakes for extra help, I got the most benefit out of my own learning, and I learned the most and I progressed even more. So when I did some more research, I went and if you go back to that Department of Education study, at the end, they did conclude that yes, online research is slightly better than online learning is slightly better than in-person learning when compared to the two. When the two were combined together, the students in the study got the most effective learning, and they scored higher in all the tests that they were tested on at the end. So when these two forms of learning are connected and they're used together efficiently, you can really learn the most and you can progress farther in what you're trying to learn in the task. So the message I want people to take away from my senior SEM presentation is that we live in a world where we have so much technology. We have more information and data in the phones we carry in our pockets and the computers that are in our backpacks than generations before us had at all. And the thing to take away from this is that although we do have all those things, all those technological tools, we also have the opportunity to go to school almost every day and be taught by all these brilliant instructors. When we should be utilizing both of those tools together instead of just using one and not using the other, when you could get the most effective learning by using two of those tools together, and you can learn efficiently and effectively. And as I conclude my senior SEM talk, I just want to leave you with this one quote. As the English poet Alexander Pope wisely once said, "A little learning is a dangerous thing." Thank you. Any questions?